I'm just really, really curious in that space at the moment on people that can really communicate things strongly through video and through structure online. So I'm just wondering if you have any tips on that at the moment.
Really, really good question. So my statement at the start is that the world has changed since COVID. That's a known. And so the next thing to think about when you're thinking about organizing an event and you're going, should this be online or in person? Now, this is the industry in general or client related event. The question you have to ask yourself kind of ahead of the event is, if the answer is it could have been a webinar, then you've missed the mark with the event in person.
Yeah,
okay, so if you're going to organize an in-person event, don't make it like a webinar. Okay, so if your in-person event that you're going to do literally has someone standing up on stage talking for 40 minutes with some PowerPoint slides, please make that a webinar to respect everyone's time. So my first tip, Clinton, around the online the face-to-face events, is make it different and engaging for the people that have invested their time to come into the city, to walk, etc., to get to your event, to spend time. So make it interesting. Secondly, if you're going to make it an online event, and it's just a webinar, well, that's one to many and it's monotone, i.e. it's me talking to you. And that's been done for the last 20 years and gets quite boring the longer the event goes. The bit that's working relatively well now is to ensure that you're creating sub-communities or these breakout rooms or Zoom rooms, depending on which technology that you're using. But the value of going to an event is actually the chats that you get to have at the coffee break and lunch break and things like that. And so thinking about reducing the volume of content that you may be giving to your audience, but also creating the time in which little groups of people, 4 to 5, can go into a room and just have a chat about the industry. And so a great online events that you might be running, both for your clients and for the industry overall, actually has this element that I'm going to give you some ideas and thought leadership. I'm going to give you a couple of questions to consider, and then I'm going to put you in these rooms to go and chat about it. And sure, you'll chat about it for a little while, then the conversation will change to something else. But that's great because that's starting to build a relationship. You pull them back to the main room, you might call out some people to talk and reflect to make it interactive so that just you're not talking. And as a result of that, the online event actually mimics lots of the good things that you would do if you were doing a face-to-face event.
Yeah, that's perfect because I find if it's a monotone speak for a long time, they always throw out the offer, hey, interrupt any time if it's on offer and put up your hand, etc. But no one ever does, and if they do, it's the one person. And so you just end up hearing from the one person over and over again.
Correct. And the other thing you have to encourage is cameras on and all on, if you know what I mean. So if you're running an event whereby you've turned off everyone's cameras, then don't expect them to interact because you've stopped them connecting with you online because they can't see themselves, they can't see the other colleagues, right? When you're in real life, you get to see other humans. And so I actually encourage you to put all the cameras on, let everyone see everyone that's there, and then actually, sure, you've got to mute and unmute people because they're eating a sandwich, but you get that idea of where everyone is. There's the best image, which Clinton, in post-production you can put on the screen, of when Tony Robbins did his largest events virtually, and he had all these computer screens around him with all the faces of all the humans that he was talking to. He did that because he gets energy from talking to people. If you can't see anyone, it's a completely different presenter experience as well, and people attending get value because they get to see everyone else on the calls as well.
That's so cool. And I think the reason why this wouldn't happen more often than not is it's a lot of effort, much like running a public event, which you talked about. You've got to engage the crowd and make it worthwhile for them to drive there or walk there. Going online, creating spaces for breakout and then dynamics and interaction and then coming back and then feeding back from the answers. that's a whole lot of planning and work that goes in on top of your additional presentation, and that extra work, which is the value that they're going to get out of it, is probably what's stopping people doing that extra work. They feel like I can just turn up, I can just talk about my presentation, run through the slideshow, and that's level one. But going to level 2 or 3 is a whole lot of work there.
Yeah, absolutely. Like that's the point of it, is that it's
Yeah.
actually a great, you're creating an event by putting effort into that, and it's no longer a webinar. So it's an event, just like if you're doing face-to-face physical event, don't make it webinar-like, because everyone will find that everyone will be disappointed because they've put effort into going there, and that you need to be something different, in 2025.
I love it.